There are several fallacies which the human beings are living in this world, and they are imagining that such a fantasy, such a fallacy, which is both of them being synonymous here, will go on to solve all of the problems of mankind. One of them is the day we are in a position to use the deuterium that is in the ocean waters to make energy, and that can be made. There is deuterium. Deuterium reaction is one of these fusion reactions that can be used for the purpose of manufacturing limitless amount of energy through nuclear fusion, maybe in a tokamak reactor or any one of them. That is one. Now imagine no country in the world will go on to have a problem associated with energy generation at all. No country in the world. Largely because the ocean water itself will go on to become the largest reservoir of energy availability in the country. The only technological limit in this case will be that of technology. The only limiting factor will be technology. So that is one of these fantasies with which the human beings are living in this world. There's another fantasy with which the human beings are living in this world, and that is, of course, spurred by the Chinese. You go to moon, pick up a He3, that is a helium-3, bring it on the earth, go for a reaction, again nuclear fusion reaction, and in one bag full of helium-3 will go on to solve your entire of country's 1 year energy problem. A country like India can solve all of its energy issues with just that much amount. So the problem will be solved in the country. Now, we go to think in this manner largely because we live in an energy-intensive society. For everything that we are going to be doing, we require energy. And we think that energy use is, of course, in the present generation parlance, it's called as cool. Is it so? Now, the thing is, there is any concept of whatever people going to talk about, that is green energy, and the myth of the sustainable energy is going to be broken in this discussion, the one that we are going to be talking about. There is a concept of green energy. Of course, you can go on to use rice as energy source, ethanol as energy source, and one of these simple models, one model that used to be that can be actually used in a very good manner. It requires just a small amount of a technological breakthrough. That is, you can use sugarcane in a variety of ways, and one of them is use sugarcane for the purpose of course, taking bagasse. Another is molasses, another is juice, another is making sugar, but at the same time, you can also go on to use it for the purpose of manufacturing ethanol, which is going to be a green energy. So you will have to bring about greater amount of an area under ethanol. And the day your aeroplane starts running on ethanol, the day your cars start running on ethanol, then a good number of problems that the people go on to think that is going to be following them will be solved. With a limitless amount of energy, human beings are also going to do limitless things. Now understand this part. For everything we do to generate electricity or store electricity, we will have to pay enormous cost in the form of environmental damages. That is going to be a part of it. Whether it is going to be coal-fired, hydropower, nuclear power, or even solar energy, and we use the word even solar energy. This is largely because clean energy is a misnomer. It is a complete misnomer. For every amount of energy generated, distributed, and stored, we will have to pay a price. Whether you're going to pay it today or whether we're going to pay it tomorrow, the price has to be paid. Energy generation requires lifestyle and thinking transition rather than technology transition. And this is one simple part that is going to be not felt, that is not going to be propagated by a good number of people. We cannot go to live forever in an energy-intensive society because energy generation, energy use, distribution, and its final destination all require energy. Even if we think that we will provide clean energy to cars on which they run, there are two issues. We are talking about electricity. One of this issue is it will be one of the most inefficient form of energy management because that will require conversion of thermal energy. Of course, you will go to have a power plant. If you are running a car in the city, you will going to be running it on electricity. From where this electricity is going to be obtained? Maybe not now, but later on, maybe by through nuclear fusion. If it is going to be now, there has to be a power plant, maybe a coal-fired power plant, or maybe another type of a power plant, and we are talking about that. This will go on to require that coal will be transferring its thermal energy into first mechanical energy for the purpose of generation. That will go to convert into electrical energy. This electrical energy will again be transferred into electrical energy, which will again be transferred into mechanical energy. Now, this energy transfer is never, ever efficient at all. It will be one of the most inefficient form of energy management because that will require conversion of thermal energy into mechanical energy, then into electrical energy, then again into mechanical energy, and so on. 2. That's the second problem. Electricity will require some form of energy conversion somewhere else, either by coal or by inundation of a large amount of an area through a hydel power plant, or by use of nuclear energy, or we use some elements like lithium that have a very high potential of harming the environment in an irreversible manner. Can you imagine what you will do with the solar panels and cells once their life has been spent? They will require to be disposed. And where are you going to dispose them? Again going to give you a question. Can you imagine when the nuclear power plant has lived its life and required to be shut down and its fuel needs to be dumped somewhere else? So solar panels also need to be dumped somewhere else, and that is also going to be. Can you imagine the inside of a nuclear reactor, fusion nuclear reactor that is bathed with ultra high level radioactivity, and if that is extracted, if at all we can extract it, and that needs to be disposed. The use of nuclear energy for clean electricity generation is another fallacy because it involves the assumption that it is clean and this type of an assumption is completely unmindful of the fact that its management will be environmentally so cumbersome. Moreover, it is also forgotten that it takes energy to generate energy. You cannot go on to generate energy out of nothing. And when you do so, the cost-benefit analysis of generation, its environmental impact, its benefit or disadvantages to a consumerist society, its damage to yourself, when you get rid of it, will be able to calculate its cost. The cost that you're going to calculate, taking everything into account, and you find that you are paying a price that is beyond your limits. So, let's assume that there is a limitless form of energy availability. So, even if we assume limitless form of energy availability, we have to keep in mind that the waste of all the energy generated is heat. And that way, we'll keep raising the temperature of the earth and then use certain means to control this temperature rise. This is something not everyone has thought of. Pollution also caused by energy use, either by air pollution or any other form of pollution, requires energy for the purpose of its management. So, will be the requirement of energy for the management of pollution caused by lithium too, caused by any type of generation. Any generation, any energy generation that takes place either pollutes the environment or sends of degraded heat into the atmosphere. And even if we assume that we are able to generate abundant energy through fusion process based on deuterium or energy use based on the as we talked about in the beginning, a suitcase full of He3, helium-3 from moon will generate more heat from energy generation, because all energy we use finds into the environment in the form of degraded heat enough to raise the temperature. Whatever we do, we bump ourselves into energy as a limiting factor. Ultimately, if it is going to be so, we'll have to wean ourselves from an energy-intensive society. An energy-intensive society is not good for mankind. We have to wean ourselves from energy-intensive society and dependence on the energy-intensive model and leading a good life based on an abundant amount of energy. Any ecologically incompatible design in any specific climatic region will require energy-intensive design and planning. Because if you are living in a desert, you will require an air conditioner. That is going to be energy intensive. When you are going to build a concrete building, that is energy intensive. When you have road made out of all of those materials, that also is an energy intensive society. And today it is solar, because it will require difficult to be disposed. It's also that you will have to convert it. Tomorrow it will be something else, but all energy use will go to lead to a build-up of a heat for sure. So either we go to follow a design adapted to nature, or we use energy that is sustainable and within a certain limit to follow a sustainable life. Ultimately, we'll all have to wean ourselves from an energy-intensive consumerist society to follow a minimalistic life, because without it, there is no way that we can go to survive as a human species. Of course, it's a matter of time, and we'll be compelled to follow a minimalistic lifestyle today or tomorrow, whenever we understand, because that's the only way we can go to manage it. There is no way other than that we can go to actually manage that part.
To have more such discussions and analysis, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for notifications on our upcoming videos.